you want me to borrow one now? So.
First big contact. Spotty taking the ball into Lemert, back to 10 and just looking for territory there. Kick not going out though, gathered just on the 10-metre line. Paul Perez looking to organise the troops for Spotswood on defence in the midfield. A couple of big hits.
Good tackle by Spotswood there.
This is what Coastal will try to do today. They'll just try and keep things close, get some good go forward ball and then attack him in. But unlucky there. Referees called that forward. We're pretty much in line there. I think it was a bit of a line ball, but we'll go with the referee. Scrum to Spotswood.
Well, we have to, don't we, Jimmy, really?
Yeah, I guess.
How are you? Yarrow got beaten for the first time this season in the final.
Did they?
The finals are different. Yeah.
What was the score?
Yeah, Coastal beat them. Well, it was pretty close, but they played pretty well. Old Boys just beat the under-20s. So they won the under-20s, beating Spotswood, and I think Coastal won the Bs.
Yeah. Coastal are 2 from 2 then, eh?
Yeah, Coastal 2 for 2. They were 2 from last year.
Yeah.
So it might be their day, you reckon?
Well, they say you've got to lose one. They've lost 2 before you win one. So, yep, they've been the front runners all season, and pretty amazing effort with their management and coaching team to get them to the final 3 years in a row. So, huge effort from them.
Yeah, Spotswood first time big dance since the 90s, but anyway, I thought they've got a lot of good players.
It's going to be an interesting contest at scrum time. Both packs pride themselves. They're both big packs, so it'll be interesting to see how the scrum goes and how interpretation of who's dominant works out throughout the game.
I think that Coastal is sort of a tight-head prop. They were at the start of at the end last year because last game because they had to put on a flanker, so they probably a bit thin in the front row because their main guy's hurt, isn't
he? Yeah, I think Coastal have had a few boys. A few of the Fleming boys have broken bones and whatnot. Yeah. So they've done a great job patching up boys, and they'll play with a lot of ticker.
Yeah. They still did enough to get the ball back, didn't they?
Yeah. And this is just their go-to. They'll just keep rumbling up. They're making good yards on the carry at the moment. And then McKenna will try and work his magic and have people on the inside, outside. But Spotswood have been pretty aggressive in that tackle and ripped the ball off them there.
Oh, and lost it again.
It's on here.
That looked more forward than the last one.
It did.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
they've got numbers here if they're smart. Blake.
So Coastal are pushing ahead at this stage of it.
Yeah, look, it's their game plan too. They'll just be patient, turn ball over. They're carrying the ball pretty strong at the moment and getting a fair bit of go forward. So. They'll just try and suck people in, and then look to head into space. That's a good exit.
Yes.
Good exit from Spotswood.
They have a young first 5'8", but he seems to be fairly mature in the games I've watched.
Yeah, he controls the football really well, and
18-year-old or something. Yeah.
Gets him around the track very well. So he's got a pretty good kicking game and makes good decisions.
Ooh.
Nothing so far in the first few minutes has been out of Spotswood's half. But Spotswood have picked that one up, and for the first time they may have just carried themselves over halfway, and they've got numbers on the left.
Numbers on here.
Paul Perez is a pretty devastating runner. Got his hands free. First opportunity Spotswood really had, and the left winger's taken.
Possibly should have passed it, but I think the Coastal guy got in between.
Moses Christie is certainly on the attack now, hammering away. Coastal have done a pretty good job of slowing that ball down, really. Yep. That's good feet. Quick ball here, and they might be in a bit of strife, but they've managed to slow it down enough. So what are you celebrating here? But
the referee hasn't put his arm up. Fair try.
Can't see that from around the corner of the brick wall here, mate.
That was fair try.
I guess that's probably the contrast of both teams, isn't it, Bruce, as far as how they're going to play. I mean, one had a lot of possession and was pretty patient. Then Spotswood just snaffled on an error, and before you know it, they're 75 metres down the field and scoring.
Yeah, well, they've got game breakers all over the paddock. That's why I would sort of pick them to win, really. Because they sort of can play a tight game, but they've got big game breakers. They can be down and then all of a sudden they can run away and score. Where I think Coastal probably lacking there a little bit. Hello, we've got a drone. You beauty.
Got a drone in the house.
Yeah,
excellent. I guess that's not really the start that Coastal.
She's not coming out the window, is it?
Drone on. I guess that'll give Spotswood young players a fair bit of confidence too, won't it, Bruce?
Yeah, it certainly will. Well, games have just started and they've broken out and scored a try, so they're going pretty good.
Well, they defended well for that first 10 minutes, didn't they?
Yeah.
They got a pretty good sprinkling of wise heads too, with Matty Goodwin and Warwick Lemert and Kari there, Paul Perez. So
Lemert especially, I thought he really controls things well. He knows his strengths. Big raps on the number 8. Every time I've seen him play, he goes really well. But they reckon he's a really good footballer on Spotswood number 8.
Yeah. Everything's going their way at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. They're busting through those tackles out wide, Jimmy. They've done it about 3 times now. Spotswood.
Yeah, they are. It's certainly their go-to, isn't it? They got a good forward pack, but like you said earlier, they've got some really explosive backs, and having Paul Perez in the midfield kind of creates a whole lot of opportunities. I guess the big thing for Coastal is that they had been here before, and they'll be a side that will absorb some of this pressure.
Yeah, and they'll keep playing. Yeah.
Yuli has been a pretty inspirational captain for them. They've got a number of boys that have been there for a long time, haven't they? So they'll absorb this and won't knock them off their game plan anyway. Just making sure they keep going around the corner and working their forwards.
Yeah. Good bust through the middle by Coastal.
Both sides straight away at the breakdown. They are actually working pretty hard at the breakdown to slow ball down, aren't they?
Offside there by Spotswood on that breakdown.
Prophet saw the inside ball there and made pretty good strong contact, didn't he?
Yeah.
Interesting to see what Coastal will do here. Are they going to try and accumulate 5-0 down, or are they going to kick kick the corner and see if they can continue to rumble away.
McKinney's goalkeeper has been good lately, but he's going for the corner. Yeah. Good kick.
I think this is Coastal's go-to, though, isn't it? And that's
line out drive. Yeah.
this will probably be the big thing they'll be looking for. They'll be looking for errors from Spotswood and look to piggyback into corners. And I'd say you give them too many of these opportunities, and they'll make you pay. Done the first part, got the throw right. Looked to be pretty well set up there.
Yeah. It's gone down.
Turned over.
No penalty. I think the line umpire must have called that penalty. Jimmy, he seemed to be happy with it, didn't he?
Cam Hurley over there, I think, is the touch judge on that side, so he's given him a word. Always interesting how much the assistant referees help the referee out. What's your thoughts on that, Bruce?
Well, you've dropped me in it there, mate. You know, I've been always feeling noisy. Tell you what, Jimmy, I'm not back now. Yeah, no.
You seem to have dodged the question.
Yeah,
there,
but
Bruce.
how long have we got? Yeah.
Coastal have persisted on that inside ball,
Yeah,
That's about the third time they've got there. So
I think
didn't find something.
they're not backing themselves out wide, I don't think. But anyway, we'll soon see. They've got it's still man on man out here, though, all the same.
I don't think they'll be seeing too much of that ball. I think those green swarm of men will just be tucking it under their wing, and they'll look to just work away, pick and go through here, I would say.
Oh, that's pretty close.
They'll throw themselves into that.
Rugby Cream will have a nip here. No.
That numbers there too.
Yeah.
Kicking there, he's into the corner. Yeah, great try.
Well worked that side. We didn't have much room in that winger. Who was that? What's his name?
Left winger.
I borrowed Billy's
Liam
glasses.
Parker.
He must be blinder than me.
Liam Parker on the left side there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
I think we're 15 minutes into the game, and both sides have shown their hands pretty early, haven't they?
Yeah. They both played the sort of game that you'd think they'd be playing. Yeah.
One quite flamboyant, the other one just roll your sleeves up and get the job done.
Yeah.
So, a bit of experience, I think, from Coastal. They didn't panic. 5 minutes after being scored,
Just went back to their
came
game.
straight back.
Yeah. To their same game too. Yeah.
And it's that discipline again and making errors and allowing them to kick corners that hurts people. So they'll be pretty happy with their start, to be honest.
It's a lovely day though, isn't it, Dave? Rugby? It's supposed to be raining and everything. It's a lovely day.
It's just great to see some club footy played back on the parquet. I mean, it's a wonderful surface, and it's great that club finals gets the best surface in the province as well. So pretty exciting to see footy back on the park.
The big thing so far, we haven't had an earthquake. I'm not backing ourselves up here for that one.
Yeah.
Oh, out the back straight away.
Yeah, You do a fair bit of tucking, Bruce, earthquake or not, mate. So I'm sure you'll be straight into the position. Tell you what, that's good feet, and that's a great little offload. Coastal just outside the 22, and they'll be pretty happy with it. Don't know if they'll be happy with that.
They won't be. Ooh,
nearly dropped it. The least amount of time they can give Spotswood the opportunity to kind of razzle dazzle and broken play. I'd say the better for Coastal, and at the moment, just kicking it straight down their throats. Not the go, is it? He's got great feet, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. For a big guy like that, he steps light on his feet.
Just pushing out the back, and Perez, that's great defence from Coastal on Perez.
Yeah. He's covered on both sides there.
Interesting setup from Spotswood at the moment. They're playing quite deep, and their 10's playing quite deep in the pocket, isn't they?
But they've got big runners that take the line on, so you can play deep like that if they're coming on the ball hard, though, can't you?
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. I guess Coastal will want to just slowly wear the big guys down in the Spotswood pack and back themselves to coming over the top, I guess.
Yeah. Coastal have always been great at tying up the ball, I've always thought over the years. So if you don't get it straight away, you're in trouble.
And that's definitely a play. And Spotswood will be wanting to live on quick balls, especially get their ball runners going on that front foot. So they'll look to slow that down all day.
He's had a couple of good runs. Is that the
12?
Yeah.
Goppeth. Left foot for
Goppeth.
Crowley.
Great Coastal name, Goppeth.
It is.
Yeah.
So it's Crowley.
Yeah, it is.
Quite static. They're throwing offloads, but they're quite static at the moment, the Spotswood ball runners.
That was a bad kick. A good cover by, who was it, Logan, was it?
That's that Liam Parker on the left wing. Yeah. He's made a couple of good runs now and obviously finished that trial really well. Tavita here carrying hard. She's pretty tough stuff in close. Crowley again. That's another great kick. Just turn them around. Someone who isn't a box kicker. He's made a couple of great kicks. Oh, that's curiously close to the touch line and just over halfway, but
curiously close to a forward pass too. It wasn't, I don't think, but it floated over. I thought it was going to go forward.
Yeah. The command of the English language there, Bruce, is quite stunning. Mate.
Well, what did I say?
Well, curiously, I thought it was magnificent. It's great use of the word. You're making this look easy at the moment.
Thanks, Jim. I'm a natural, you reckon?
Oh, mate.
Well, I haven't swore yet. That's the main thing.
No, you're doing great. Yeah. Tell you what, that doesn't happen a whole lot. The Coastal got one turned over at line-out time. I
always feel that that's the weakness of the Spotswood side is their line-out. Even though they've got big guys, every game I've seen them play, they're not very good at them, and yet they should be. That's what I've always thought anyway. I've seen them play 4 times now, and I think their line-out's one of their weaknesses. Do you? Or what do you think?
I think that they actually don't mind driving the ball, but they don't defend the drive that well.
Yeah, but I don't. There's a lot of times they've had showings and they haven't actually got it. I've often thought that.
They've got a pretty experienced hooker and Matty Goodwin.
I'm just saying they just don't seem to
hit the mark.
Yeah, hit the mark. Well, they run around a lot. They do a lot of different things. So.
I couldn't tell you the intricacies of what goes on there, Bruce. I've just had a theory. You just give us the ball and the backs will do the rest, you know.
Intricacies not a bad word. Paris cool. He's got on the road then.
He's gone here. He's got some wheels too here, Logan. They're going to keep him up here too, the big man. Tavita. Yeah, that's a great play from Logan Crowley. Logan Crowley's had a great start to the game, really.
Well, he actually went to pass the ball and the guy was in the road, so he just bolted it. It was on.
Good to see him running. He's got wheels, so I think the varying of his game. He's kicked the ball 3 times now. He's passed the ball pretty solidly, and he's had a couple of dads. So I think all bodes well for him now.
His old man was very quick on Alan too. He was lightning.
Yeah. He's a great tourist too, Alan. Had a good fortune of touring with Alan and being his roomie in '95. So hell of a good man.
Coastal have got this guy. Mate, if it goes down, they get a penalty. If they got it, it broke away. No, it didn't break away. That was close.
I'll just run some hard lines back in there, regather, and now it'll be pick and go, and it'll be the green swarm of Coastal here, I would say, Bruce. They'll just try and muscle themselves over. Spotswood will do well to stop that. But Trent's given it a bloody big blow of the whistle there. He's seen something I haven't seen there, Bruce. What are you thinking there, mate?
Well, I don't know. He was down there. I couldn't see anything.
You couldn't see anything?
No, it's not like me. I usually see something.
Yeah. Nah, well, here you go. I mean, Hawkeye, I think, is your nickname, isn't it? You've been able to see the detail and things that most have never been able to see, mate. So if you didn't see it, I'm very surprised the referee picked it up.
Same.
Spotty will be pretty happy with that, eh? I mean, again, like we talked about earlier in the game, I mean, Coastal, that's all they want to do is they'll just want to wrestle you in that 5 metre, and they'll back themselves to score a lot of points if they get a few opportunities in there. So well done to Spotswood to nullify that.
Yeah, I agree. Coastal, they don't, if they can't score those sort of tries, they need to do that because Spotswood can score from anything. So they had it well set up there, I thought.
Yeah, they did. Still a fair bit of work for Spotswood to do here. 5 metres from their own line in the final, but they've got a great scrum, eh? Paul Perez is a battering ram.
He's carrying. Good exit by Spotswood. Not as good as it could have been, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, he didn't strike that well, did he?
But he still got distance.
Yeah, it looked like duck shooting season there, the way he struck that, mate. She was a bit wobbly on it. So he's limped it into touch anyway.
It's all about staying in the air, though. If you get shot by a duck, it's all about staying in the air. I think the ball stayed near, right?
Yeah. It looked a bit deflated to me, but he managed to land safely into touch.
Good throw.
Great throw. Away they go again.
That was a great throw. Give them the back on boys, but you have to get down there on the back and see what the team's doing that.
They've got this well and truly set, eh? I'd say the referee's got a penalty, eh?
Coastal definitely had territorial, didn't they?
Yeah, they have. The game was pretty frenetic there for the first kind of 10, 12 minutes, but we're 26 minutes into the game, Bruce, and it seems to have just found a bit of a balance, isn't it? It's a bit of an arm wrestle at the moment.
It's been pretty well disciplined on both sides. There's been many penalties, hasn't there? About 3, I think, so it's been pretty good.
I think that'll be a big work on for Spotswood. I think last week they gave away 5 yellow cards. You can't really afford to do that in the final. So I'd say I hope so. Spotswood have actually done a pretty good job of defending this more, actually. They've made some pretty big leaps and bounds in the last few weeks on how to defend that, and they've got to give them credit there. Matty Goodwin's done a pretty good job of disrupting that.
Because they're not lacking in size, are they? Probably the biggest pack in the competition, would you say?
Yeah, they're pretty big.
I wouldn't have a scrum here, Jim. Would you? Well, no, good. They've done
You
well.
like this, eh?
Yeah, I do.
This is your go-to, a set piece.
Well, they haven't been that good on the scrum.
It didn't go that good.
No, but they haven't been that good on the scrum, have they? So, yeah. I always like, I always think that it should be a move, though, when you hit one and go back the other way. Somehow they just sort of take and go. But I haven't said that. I suppose it's the easiest thing to do.
Well, it's always been an interesting debate, hasn't it? I guess Coastal is their strength, is their line-out, but it's the only part of the game that's a 50-50 call, and opposition can work out your calls and get an understanding of where you're going to throw the ball, whereas a tap penalty, you're in control of the ball all the time. And I guess all you're trying to do is group the opposition and move the ball to where they're not. So why take? You can obviously take the risk out of it if you do the tap penalty. Eh?
Oh, drop ball by Spotswood. Looking dangerous too, really.
Doppler's shown a fair bit of fight with his ball carriers, isn't he, Bruce?
Yeah, yes. Been really good.
McKenna's been pretty controlled for McKenna at the moment. Eh? He hasn't sparked anything just yet. He's been pretty rock solid, catching pass.
But he can.
I'll give you the tip, Bruce. You mentioned 2 minutes ago the referee hadn't blown his whistle much, and now he's blown it 4 times, mate.
Yeah, no, we must have heard me. They do that.
Yeah.
Most of them are hooked up.
I always knew you had a massive influence on the game, but wow, I'm really starting to see here that you've got a massive influence.
Yeah, you caught me up there, mate. Don't make any mistakes, that's all I'd say.
I've lived my life that way. Yeah.
Same.
Just quiet at this point in time. We haven't spoken a lot. I'm actually just texting Andrew Slater, who is one of the coaches of the Plymouth Old Boys Colts side, who had a great victory over Spotswood earlier today. But just a bloke thing, can't really text and talk at the same time. So I apologise for the silence there.
Well, you're better than me. I can't text.
Yeah.
He knows not to text me. He's got to ring.
That's a good shot from McKenna.
McKenna's one of those kickers that on or off, isn't he? He has been known to, but I mean, when he's on, he does pretty good.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a lot of wriggle room on that comment, Bruce. You know, you're either, as a kicker, you're either on or you're off. There's probably no middle ground, is there? Or have you known a few guys that have hit a lot of uprights in their time?
Probably. Usually on, Coachy.
Oh, don't bring the violin out now, Bruce. Come on, man.
Ooh. Clash in the air. Good competition for the ball there, Jimmy.
Yeah, great competition. Just looking at the scoreboard at this point in time, and doesn't seem to have dialed up. We're 28 minutes into the game, and just looking at it, it's 5-5. So on the scoreboard it's 5-5, boys, and it just brings me back to the good old days when where we used to get 2 points for a try or a penalty, but it's just clicked over now. So it's 8-5 to Coastal.
Well, they've heard Jimmy. Let's face it. They must be on the same as people all over the world watching us.
Yeah. Well, law of averages, I'd say. I mean, I don't very often get a lot of calls, Bruce, but we managed to get one there. So,
Spotswood putting on a power scrum there. Really good scrum.
Look, Spotty have definitely got the wood on Coastal as far as scrum time. I'm just intrigued in your interpretation of the scrums this year, Bruce, because there has been a bit of a debate.
Well, I don't think that was a penalty, to be honest. They just pushed them and they got the ball. So, to me, if Crowley hadn't come off and got the ball, if you push straight, and they pushed them off the ball, but why did they give a penalty?
It seems to be happening quite a bit this year.
Yeah. Well, I can't understand. I can't understand that. Like if they screw it or they drop it, you understand. But when they just push it, I mean, that's good. They push it, so give them the advantage. If they can't get the ball, well, too bad. So they're getting a penalty for pushing the scrum. I can't. Yeah, I don't know. So I just think
just something that's happened a bit this year in club footy, hasn't it? There's been some interesting interpretation of people seem to be in the fight.
Yeah, but even in the big games, I always think that too. That they push them, and so they get a penalty. I don't know why would they get one just for pushing. If the other team infringes, That was a good line, mate.
Yeah.
After I said their line is not working well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I guess for me, I'm delving into dangerous territory because I don't profess to know what the big boys do in those deep, dark places. But I just think as a spectator, sometimes it gets a bit
this is
baffling, doesn't it?
For Coastal, Spotswood have hit the what? Ooh, that was a good pickup. You can't see that down there.
I'm just going to let you go, Bruce, because
okay.
I can't see past the corner here, big fella.
Spotswood nearly went in there. They just got him on the line. That was a good drive by Coastal. Went in and got the ball. Great drive by Coastal. I thought they had it well looked after. Didn't get much of an exit there. But they did well, Coastal, to get the ball back. They drove in and run the ball off Spotswood, who were looking really good. I should be pleased with that last line-out move. They might try something else, but since I've said they haven't had a very good line-out, they're not going too bad.
Yeah, you've turned the game a couple of times already in commentary here, Bruce. Hey, you're doing a great job, mate.
Good drive from Spotty. Ooh, pulled it down, I thought. No, he let it go, the ref. Arm's not out.
That's great D from
that was
Coastal.
a good D. That number 11's got good feet too, mate. That was good D. He came up pretty quick. I thought he was in line to get cleaned up there.
They've done pretty well, Spotswood, to recycle that. And they're going back to their experience in Matty Goodwin, and Wiz looking to run the edge with Perez.
Yeah.
That's Blake Barrett at his best there, and second man in, attack that ball, and that's a huge turnover for his team.
Yeah, that is. Actually, he's played well this game so far. Anyway, he's been. Ooh, what did you go that side? Oh, well, worked.
So, Bruce, 8 minutes to go, mate. You long-time experienced coach for a number of years. What are you preparing to say to Spotswood at halftime?
Well, I still think they've got to try and get the ball wide. I think Coast are dominating the ball, but the Spotswood are playing well enough. It's just a matter of turning their, I think they've got the game breakers. And I always think that they wouldn't have to work too hard to get the ball out and go through, So if Coast doesn't win the ball, if they don't kick the ball to them, but they, you obviously do have to do some kicking. If you kick well, I'd say Coastal got a good chance.
Coastal probably, if you wanted a template, they had a period of time there, didn't they, where they've just been stripped there, Coastal. So now they've got Spotty start to line up, and everyone starts to raise their voice and get a little excited.
Yeah. And when they get the ball,
Wes runs that edge and brings people into the game.
Knocked it on. That was disappointing for them. They were away.
Crowley's kicked well today, and he's a bit unlucky that didn't roll over.
Yeah, you've cleaned that kick up now, Jimmy. Oh, good tackle. From behind from Coast. From behind.
That's Troy Stevenson there, and he's had a pretty strong season for Coast.
That number 12.
And that's 7. Barrett on that again. And very unlucky.
Yeah.
That's very unlucky, I think. He was second man there. There was daylight there. It's a tough call. Yeah, I think Coastal will be pretty happy with what they've done. I mean, like we were just saying before, that exciting bit of play. They've controlled the football and they've controlled a fair bit of the territory. That will be something that will please Ricky Tito at the halftime huddle, won't he?
They've definitely had territorial advantage, no doubt about that. But Spots would have looked dangerous too, so there's not much in it. That's what you expect, but
those kind of grand final nerves have kind of worked their way out, haven't they? They've all just got into their work now, haven't they, both sides?
There's a big hole around that edge there.
Oh, I tell you what, though, Chen's is starting to come into play a fair bit. The old arm's starting to go up and the whistle's getting blown. So it's obvious that players are starting to hang on a little bit, and both teams
pretty conscious of not letting the other team get quick ball at breakdown. A lot of breakdown penalties.
Yep, there is. Well, just about everyone's been a breakdown penalty at the moment. Like I said, there's one scrum. That's right.
You would have been out, obviously, out and about watching the other games. The breeze going.
Well, the breeze is
Which way?
the breeze is going south. Yeah, north to south. North to south. I've got to think about it, Jimmy. You know, you've got to start dropping it, yeah. I see you dropping in. You know where the breeze is going.
I thought you might have just said straight down the ground.
back
to
to coastal, but
I
I do like your explanation.
Yeah,
north and south.
no, north to south.
Oh, okay.
No, that's good. I mean, the only other option was west to east, but I mean, I think you've done a good job there.
Well, probably it's more north. Let me think. Yeah, more easterly. There you go. Yeah. Well, sort of.
That's why you're probably known as one of the most colourful colour men in the business, Bruce. Hey, you don't muck around, mate. You're straight to it.
Oh, she's a great arm wrestler.
Oh,
No, those are the little moments, aren't they? The little moments in any final that can turn a game.
He's got that straight too.
He's had a good game too, the
Yeah,
boy Parker.
yes,
I think he's done some really good things.
That's good.
Maybe if he had his socks pulled up, Bruce, he might have caught that. What's you thinking about that?
Yeah. Well, old school, mate.
You're old school?
I don't mind that. Socks down. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean,
They beat you in the show.
Scott Ireland always had socks up, but that was because he actually didn't have calf muscles. He actually played with 3 pairs of socks. Yeah, he had 3 pairs of socks, Scott Ireland. But I'm a big believer in socks up.
Yeah, same. But I mean, it's old school. They come down, you don't pull them up.
You would have had garters too. You wouldn't have used tape. You would have used garters.
No, tape was invented when I was playing.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
So it would have been pretty novel for you guys, wouldn't it?
I was in the jockeys, the jockey, the jockey support, and those.
How we got from socks to
you
to
just go
jockeys,
into
mate?
that old stuff.
Obviously, not a lot happening in the game at this
there
point in
isn't.
time, mate.
Yeah.
We're resetting the scrum.
Now they'll push.
Both sides will not want to concede points here.
Geez, he should have gone for the intercept. Then he would have got it, I reckon.
Little fancy offload here, and this will be where they're dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've got numbers here too.
Oh, no, he didn't lock that guy. He should have passed it.
Again, Coastal do a really good job on just throwing that ball down and breakdown.
I thought the Spotswood went over the top then, but he's let it go.
This boy's had a pretty good game, the 7th for Spotswood. Yeah, he's
a good tackler. I've seen him tackle before, but he's carting the ball a bit more.
That's Warwick Lemert's younger brother, isn't it?
Yeah,
Tristan?
I think it is, yeah. If I could read the program, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Blake Barrett was on all over that. He was all over that like a cheap suit, Bruce.
He's probably underrated a bit, really, isn't he? Because the other boys was,
Yeah, talking to the Coastal coach, Ricky Tito, he's got massive reps on Blakey.
Well, I've always thought he's played well, so yeah.
Hard worker.
He's picked his moments a couple of times pretty well on making good decisions on to stay out or to attack the ball, and more times than not, he's won a couple of crucial turnovers, isn't he?
They've got a Taranaki prop on the bench spot, so haven't they? Yeah. Just his name, I just can't think of the name, but I know he's
Asa?
Yeah.
Asa.
Yeah.
Probably because his name escapes me, but
Yeah.
oh,
I'm here to help
that
you.
was a good.
Tavita,
that was
yeah.
a great
He can
backup
go.
from-
There we go. Oh, that's great defence and that's great carry.
I think
Composure
they
here.
still
Both
play
teams.
the coast, they're still
Both
good.
teams will be not wanting to concede points right on half time can make a
Young
massive
Loftus
difference.
scored.
Yeah, Josh Lord,
He's a good player.
he's had a great season. He's all over that. It's
I thought that was,
never on his feet there, Bruce.
yeah, I know.
And he slowed it down.
McKenna had a bit of a
McKenna.
dab there.
He's always got to have a crack at some stage, McKenna, and he turned that over. Referees listened
That
there.
was easy decision for him.
Yeah. Never on his feet, Bruce, was he?
No, I thought that there was one right before that too, but anyway.
Yeah, well, they have to make a decision now, and they're going to take points. I mean, 8-all, just about time up on my watch is time up. So, you know, it's been a pretty tight first 40 minutes for us.
Can I have a look at your watch, Jimmy?
my phone,
it's
mate.
the old phone. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I've got a proper watch here.
Yeah. I mean, and that's fantastic. I mean, they don't make
Tissot.
things like that anymore, right?
Tissot.
Right, 1926, I see there's the maker's name on that. So, you've done really well. Look after it for that long, Bruce. So, I mean, I guess this sums up the season, doesn't it? Taranaki Club football, probably the closest club competition in the history of club competition, as far as I can remember. You're a lot older than me.
Never know. Yeah, I am. You never know.
Do you remember
Yeah.
a closer competition?
Well, there's a lot more teams in there, but you're dead right. There was always 2 or 3 teams that stood out. There was probably a lot more teams when they was playing. But over the years, this is definitely the closest competition. You could never say anybody was going to beat anybody. See, Spotswood won about 3 games. I went down to Southern with the bottom team. They got cleaned up. So you had to be on your game, didn't you? It's going to be a catch.
That's a good strike.
Oh,
Yeah, he's pushed it away. So we're going to go into half time at 8-all, Bruce, and that probably is quite a lovely metaphor for the club season this year, isn't it? Tight.
Well, Jimmy, what would you be saying to your players at half time?
My players. If I was Coastal, then doing what we're doing, they're actually mixing up the game pretty well. I think they're making good kicking decisions. Logan's kicked the ball 4 times and he's found the grass every time and turned them around, and they've run the edges pretty well. So, look, they'll actually be a bit disappointed that they've had 2 or 3 opportunities snuffed out by Spotswood as far as their line-out drive. So I'd say they'll keep hammering away there and with that. I think Spotswood probably haven't earned the right to go wide as well. They've just gone wide for the sake of wide at times. And if they actually ran a bit more off Wiz, who's trying to run those edges and get some inroads and then go wide to Perez, I think they'll make some big inroads out of it.
Number 8's got a good ball just off the ruck.
I think they've gone back to crash and bash. I think they've tucked the ball under their wing a little bit and tried to run over people rather than use feet and play smart in that regard. So both sides will still know that they've got 40 minutes for their season and you know, probably the next 15 minutes I'd say is going to be really important.
The first 15 after half time. They say who scores first.
Just getting some text back now. Someone's just said here about your wind comment. I'd say the breeze is blowing out of Bruce's ass at about 20 knots.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I'll accept that.
Someone else has just said, tell Bruce to talk into the mic. I'll tell you what, it's a pretty big sporting weekend though, isn't it? Eh?
Yeah,
we've got club finals, and there'll be a fair few people that'll work pretty long into the night tonight, and then get up and we've got the Black Caps final on Sunday, so there'll be a few tired people on Monday, I'd say, Bruce.
Yeah, I'll be one of them.
You'll be one.
Yeah.
I often see you toiling away in your stubbies there in your muff, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't worn stubbers for a long time, Jimmy. That's pretty well right.
Yeah, and thankfully, I mean, there was a petition around the neighbourhood to say, please stop, Bruce. But hey, no, it's really important. I guess that's quite important as far as rugby is concerned too. Eh? When you get feedback, sometimes you've got to action it straight away, and it's great that you've burnt those stubbies.
Yes, Jimmy. So we go. I think we'll have to go back to the game. starting to get hammered.
Yeah, what's your thoughts, Bruce?
Well, I'm still thinking Spotswood will win because I still think they've got more game players. Coastal are playing the tidier game, but I think Spotswood being this close at half times. Coastal, they've hammered Spotswood, and Spotswood have held on. So I'm still thinking Spotswood are going to win.
What about the bench, mate? You've
bench
had plenty of time to sum up both sides. I mean, who's got the stronger bench for you?
Probably Spotswood.
Spotswood?
Yeah.
So
they got the prop from the place of Taranaki.
Asa?
Yeah, and they're pretty short in the front row.
Coastal?
Yeah. Because last week, I'm not sure of his name, but I heard that the tiny prop was hurt. So, and they did have to go to Golden Robbie scrubs at the end of the game last week. So I'm picking there won't be much coming off the bench in that area.
It's been a pretty close battle, though. We've got two Taranaki props running around there too, Jared Prophet and Chris Gawler. They've been going hard at it.
Yeah.
Your summary on their performance, mate?
The scrub's been good. Yeah, they're doing the right things, Spotswood, but Coast are really tough, in the ball area, ball contact area. So, what are they saying?
It's getting quite a few.
Yeah,
no, mate. You're getting a lot of positive feedback. People are quite keen if you could just maybe sing a tune, just for the halftime break. The Gloria.
Roadhouse Blues is not bad. It was pretty good.
You've certainly got the swagger to pull that off, Bruce. Rightio, 40 minutes here, mate. And the destiny here, isn't it? Eh? You got Coastal who've been trying for 3 years, and Spotswood who haven't been in there for a long time.
Yeah.
Surely everyone will leave it out on the field.
Oh, they will. But I still going Spotswood. Even though Coastal's
You've always been a pretty flamboyant man, eh? So you're obviously going to go with the flamboyant side. I mean, for me, I actually like the guy that just puts his head down and does a bit of hard work, mate. So
that's an absolute lie, Jimmy.
Coastal again. Tavita's starting to create some havoc in there.
Big havoc.
Jeez, that's fantastic. That's what we want to see.
Fiji winning 12.
Yeah.
I thought they'd find it tough over in Suva, but they might be right.
Yeah. What's that score, Bruce?
12-0 to Fiji.
And Māori All Blacks?
Yeah. Then Neil Barnes is coaching over there. He's coaching Fiji. He's helping,
He's involved in the World Cup, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think so.
Coastal have persisted on this inside ball and just started to come good.
Right. Yeah. He's playing a good game.
Got him offside here, Trent.
That was a big bloke. What he's going to do? Give a card or something?
Hold on. What's he got there? Oh, no, he had his arm around the wrong way there.
I thought he must be going for a card or something.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's a long way away.
I think maybe the blood just drained out of his brain with that hard blow of the whistle, and he just didn't know what to do, and he's banged the wrong arm up there. But he's gathered some momentum there now, and he's gathered his composure, the referee, and getting this into the corner here, 20 out.
Oh, good catch. That was great. On the back of the line out. I've always been worried when the ball goes to being a coach. You always think it's not going to be straight, but
McKenna did well there, and that's great feat, McKenna. Like we talked about earlier, he's always got a bit of razzle-dazzle, and he's produced that nicely there with a
quite a hard one to pick up too. I don't know how the hell he did that.
Made that look eeasy, didn't he? Yeah, they're really on there. They're getting quick recycle. Barrett crossed up a little offload. That's a great one. That was a great try.
So Coastal turned on me and started playing like Spotswood. That's what happens. That was a good try. Everybody got everything perfect. Even the offload at the end there. You didn't see that though. Yeah.
No, well, I've got a brick wall either side of me. But, we're just under 3 minutes and Coastal have come out. We talked about the first 15 minutes being vitally important, Bruce, but they created...
nice.
The number 8 ran so far, they had to stop him, and they didn't. So he went, he would have gone, 30 metres? And he went through about 4 or 5 tackles, so that gave him some momentum, you know.
Look, McKenna's been around for a long time.
Yeah,
He's actually
yeah.
picked his moment,
Yeah.
hasn't he? You know,
Yeah.
he's played 40-odd minutes and not really hit a dabble, and made a really good decision, propped off his left foot there, and made some good inroads. And he'll be wanting to put the icing on the cake here and bang this one through the uprights.
Well, I always thought he was the best club back in Taranaki, Rick McKenna, when he plays well. And this year he's played pretty well for them. Because he, you know, like you said, he can do anything. He can play a number of positions as well as halfback too. He can play halfback. Good club man, eh?
I guess the key to that was the 3 breakdowns. That was quick ball.
Yeah.
And so that's a huge difference, isn't it? Both sides have slowed down the breakdown, but that was quick ball.
Because they never picked up the number 8, so you couldn't slow it down because it burst through. Now, if they hit him on the line, it's easier to contain the breakdown.
Just those little things
Things
starting
like-
to go
yeah,
their
that's
way,
right.
isn't
They
it?
could've
And
knocked that
they're
out.
massive in the final.
Yeah.
They need to ride this way.
Straight through the middle.
Is that Calvin Wears? He jumped
Yeah.
onto the field there. Well, there's a ball of experience right there, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know, and
yeah.
his
It's
hairline
another
probably
penalty.
depicts that, doesn't it, as far as the time in the saddle.
I think the referee could have done that for another penalty there, mate. Not sure. Logan Crowley, they go around the edge, which is quite surprising.
I think that's what's been picked up here, that I've found that the A is chasing quite hard in Spotty, and the A and B defence is struggling a bit here.
Yeah. Well, they've gone straight through the edge about 4 times, haven't they? Yeah. In a row. They're not getting off the ground. That's the problem, I think. They've got to get off the ground with Spotswood crew.
And they're chasing, so you know the A guy's got to hold his position and wait on that inside. At the moment, they're chasing to that first receiver, and Crowley's throwing a couple of dummies and sniping around the edge there. He's had a really good game, Crowley, so far, I think.
Yeah, he's pretty great.
It's going to be a big loss to
Really, which is disappointing.
I haven't got my ear to the ground as much as you, Bruce, but yeah, I'm hearing that that's the case. Hey, a couple of changes here. So Spotswood have rolled out some changes. Prophet coming off. He's done his stint for 55 minutes, the big fella, and he's just hobbling off. It looks as though he's been riding a horse a little bit there, and he's hobbling quite badly. So so Asa comes into play here.
First bad throw of the game. Coastal.
So
he's got him offside. Oh,
McKenna again snaffled up on those crumbs, but he was playing advantage, wasn't he, Bruce? And was always going to go back there. Is that Peter Gus that's just gone out there too, Bruce?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. So I can't see the touchline yet. It's under your nose to me.
Yeah.
I think you're just trying to make me look bad, and I think it's working.
Just for all those people that are listening, it is Peter Gus has traded out there. So, pretty accurate your commentary, wasn't it, Bruce, around the Spotswood bench being stronger, probably with a few super and rep players coming off the bench.
And big men. See, that guy's really big. I see Jim He's just come off the bench. How'd you like him coming off the bench?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't want to be on the other end of the bench when he was getting off it, mate. I'd be like a catapult. Pretty important kick this, and
you were on the bench very much, Jimmy, were you, in your day?
Oh, look, I was on the bench a lot for Taranaki, mate. That's why they gave me a cushion. I was known to do a fair few stints. Back in the day, obviously, where players didn't get on the field, mate. When you got named, they didn't have reserves. So, so it was progress anyway, wasn't it? Yeah, they named 15, and if someone got injured, well, you played with 14, didn't you? Yeah. They were tough times then.
They were.
What was it like playing back then, Bruce?
Actually, no, they always had reserves, thank God, because I went off the field quite a bit. Injury. I was put it after that.
A couple of key players now starting to put their hand up for both sides, aren't they? And
but he ran across a bit much there, but it doesn't matter. They didn't catch him really. So. Ooh.
That's
oh no! That's
that's the big problem, isn't it? I think often when you're in your own 22, when the 9 gets taken out of play, you're in big trouble because that core skill of kicking and passing puts other people under pressure. So it needs to stay alive a little bit. Goes and one-off runners. I'd say we're 7 in already, and I'd say we'll get up to about 15.
I don't think they'll need the penalty the way they're going. If they come wide now, they must have them.
That's 8.
And they are. Oh,
McKenna, and I'll tell you what, there's a space. There's a space just in there, and that's great defence. And he'll have to come back to the penalty, won't he? Because, they've won it again.
Yeah. Barrett's popped up everywhere, isn't he? Jeez. He's come back now. There's a bit more players over there. I'll keep him going here. Yeah. Oh, gee, they've got numbers. Oh, I don't know. I reckon give it to them.
See, and this is where this is constantly the dilemma for the captain, isn't it, Bruce? You take 3 points here and you get 5 points out. They've got to score a try. They're only 2 points here, and they kick the corner and make an error. But Coastal, their real strength is that ability to hold the ball and be patient. So probably more teams than most. They'll probably kick the corner and go for a line out here, won't they?
Yeah, I don't know what they...
Well, this is their game plan, isn't it?
I know. The scrum's not working, but I mean, they've got to win the ball back now.
Yeah. Well, they have got Josh Lord, who's just about 2 metres, mate. So you have to back yourself to be able to throw it in there and get it.
They are good driving the ball. They drove out for a try in the first half, didn't they? So.
All year, this has been their go-to. They want to try and get as many 5-metre line-outs as possible, and they'll back themselves that they'll come out the other end here. I have to say, I think Spotswood have done their homework and done a pretty good job of breaking the try.
Oh, no. Gave a penalty.
I'd say so. Well, here's another one that obviously people will be wanting to get your opinion on, Bruce, is there's been a number of penalties now in and around that red zone throughout the game that have been given away. When does a referee, do you think, need to kind of put out some warnings, and when is someone going to be yellow carded, or do you just let it play?
I reckon just let it play myself. I don't think it's been that bad. Honestly, they probably have got a few penalties, but I've given away a few penalties, but I don't think it's been that bad. But he'll probably, if anything happens here, he'll probably give me a warning. That's a try. For all money. No. Well up. What's he going to do now? When it's scrum, I don't think.
Well, it's held up over the line. I guess that's what they'll be doing, mate.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was a penalty. Oh, it was held up. Yeah, that's true. Right. Sorry, mate. Made a mistake.
No, that's
first one I made for quite a while.
Yeah. Yep. Mind you, the people can't smell you at this point in time. I don't know if they're great at cologne choice today.
Oh, that's a bit harsh. My wife bought me milk cologne, thanks.
And she's got a lovely taste. Your wife, she's a wonderful lady. Saint, really.
How did we get onto that?
I'm not sure, mate. I've just been sniffing you most of the day, so I thought I'd throw it out there just as a break. But look, hey, we're 12 minutes and 26 seconds into the game, roughly, at this point in time, and he's having a fair talk to those Spotswood boys up there.
Yeah. I thought they'd broken through there. The guy looked like, well, he did go over the line, didn't he? He was held up. Can't believe that you pulled that one out.
Well, we're only 2 minutes and 34 seconds away from that first 15 minutes, please. So
I wouldn't have had a scrum for us, Coastal. It doesn't matter. They haven't run, so they got pushed in the last couple, and they've given away a couple of scrum penalties. But anyway, maybe they're backing it a bit better.
They got held up, mate, so they have no other
that's
option.
right, you told me that before. Yeah,
they got no other choice.
Well, can't they influence the See, we got...
I'll tell you what, they are getting ragdolled at scrum time at this point in time, aren't they? and pretty difficult when you bring someone like Profit off and us on.
Yeah,
You know, fresh legs, big men.
Yeah. I could see why the penalty was given that time because they actually did drop it, but the other time I put it. So yeah,
They dismantled that scrum, didn't
yeah,
they?
they did.
Which is not too bad for two men that are never going to get their head in the dark place like that ever in their lifetime, mate.
No. I played hooker in the midgets.
Will you?
Yeah. Well, I couldn't play anywhere else, really, could I?
Why is that?
Well, it's pretty small.
Oh,
They always keep me on the road, so
that's a good kick again, and
it was a good kick. Left foot,
Banged
on
on.
his left foot.
bring it on to the left foot.
The Spotswood crowd are getting into it now. They're smelling blood off it, Jimmy.
Yeah, I see their flags all flying. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's their home ground.
Well, it's pretty close. If it's not the home ground, it's the closest. Ooh, a bit lucky there, but anyway, they've got
That
it.
was a bit of a shambles,
Oh,
wasn't it? Paul
drop
Perez, and that's a
ball.
falcon. That's a falcon there on the captain of Coastal there. He's taken that right square. We have action replay on that. He has taken that square on the forehead.
Perez has got the ball twice there. I found that quite strange. An experienced player like him.
He's trying very hard to
Hit that hole.
Yeah, and hit hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a change coming up here, Bruce. Yeah, and I guess they had to make that play,
Yeah,
didn't they?
yeah,
After the last scrum, they've put fresh legs on Spotswood, so it's not a bad. Again, he's been a young boy that's come through the Taranaki system, and Andrew Trollope will give them a fair crack for the next 25, 30 minutes, won't he?
Yeah. What's that? I think the Coast are going to struggle here.
It's probably the only area of dominance that Spotswood have got in regard to the game, isn't it? They've got those explosive, dynamic players, but they are dominating scrum time. There's a halfback here. You just be bloody hooking this under the hooker's feet as quick as you can, and getting around the back and get her out pretty quickly here. Want to work with your aide to keep that sorted pretty quick.
Ooh, that was Crowley's experience for that. He just held it just that fraction longer.
Interesting that Coastal are now trying to play an up-tempo game. Again, I'll just show some patience. They're not making any inroads at all at this point. Yeah, made a great tackle, clear release, and then attack the ball. It's a huge turning point, maybe.
Oh! The lock nearly scored it. Nearly got an inset, knocked it on. See, there's a lot of people, a lot of referees would have given that a penalty because he tapped it down with his hand, but he was trying to catch it, I thought. Did you?
Yeah, well, that's the interesting one, isn't it? We went through a phase, I thought, in refereeing, where as soon as there was an overlap or you were under pressure and you did that, there were yellow cards and penalties all along. So,
but he was going for the intercept, I thought, in that. I thought that was good refereeing.
It's just amazing how an interpretation of a rule can change.
No, it would have been a penalty straight off. In sevens, that's a sending off. 4 or 5 minutes, or not a sending off forever. Or was it what they give him? 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Well, it's coasted better in that scrum.
So we're hitting that 60-minute mark, Bruce, and it's 13-11 to Coastal.
Spotswood are starting to find some holes,
I tell you what, those breakdowns now are getting really slow and messy, aren't they? And everyone's contesting. Neither side are getting a whole lot of momentum, are they? They'll give it to Perez now, and talk of momentum. He's
well tackled.
Good. Everything's slow, isn't it, at the moment, the breakdown? Both sides really working hard to slow the ball at breakdowns.
Here's a little kick from the first 5-8. Good little kick too. Could have gone too far. He's gone too far.
Yeah, well, something a little bit different from Spotswood and was worth probably a go, but he overcooked it. We're into the championship minutes now, Bruce. It's 13-11 to Coastal, 20 minutes to go.
He runs well that number.
Yeah, he's had a great game this 7. Yeah, very, very good game. Tristan Lemert. There's Peter Gus. And this is what Spotswood will live on, eh? They'll try to hit the excitement button here and lift the energy levels.
Over here, if they come this way, are you going to pass it? No.
He's in here. And that's a pet play that the Spotswood boys have played this year, and that 15's been running. They've got a number of boys that have had a number of years at league, and that's very much a league play. So, his timing there's got to be spot on. I'll tell you what, he runs it pretty fine to being on or offside, but he's timed it well there, and that's a set play. And
I thought it was quite risky giving the ball there because they had numbers, but it was, like you said, they're clean. It was a really good little kick. So.
It's a pretty hard one to defend when you're kind of 5 or 6 metres off your line. You normally got no one pushed it in the back there, and everyone's flat on the line. So you've got no cover, and it takes a little bit of skill to get the kick right. But that's a pet play. I know they played that on tape a couple of times where they pulled that off.
One of Bowden Barrett's favourite little tricks, isn't it? He normally goes across, but he's got that little touch over when you're getting hit in the midfield. Yeah,
of league and rugby, I think the league boys play those pretty regularly, so those boys have done well. So, like I say, we've got 20 minutes to go. A bit of a shake-up now, but Coastal have always responded pretty well this game when the points have been scored against them to come back. But they got 20 minutes left, and it looks as though it's going to be a five-point game here now. So Coastal are 13 and Spotswood 18. And, they're going to roll out the subs again by the looks. It's again probably twice in the game, Bruce. Once in the first half and then in this try-scoring motion. They just ignite, don't they, Spotswood?
They're going to, Well, Paul Perez, he made a good run just before that and got them excited, so that's the sort of game they like.
They have a tendency, to be a bit like a teenager, don't they? They drift in and out at times, but when they come right, they explode into it, don't they?
That's why I've always thought they'd probably win because they've got a good set piece. Well, I didn't think they're on it as that good, but what's going on here? I'm not going.
Again, as momentum turns a little bit, isn't it? That everything was going Coastal's way early on in the second half, and now just little things, losing the ball forward, those kinds of things, starting to go against them. Isn't it? I think both the Nines have had a pretty good game so far. Both controlled pretty well.
Liz is getting a bit of ride in the scrum. Logan's hit a bit, the scrum's been going back and forth, so shit. Better kick the table over. Sorry. It's wonder I didn't do the F word there, Jimmy.
You were restraining control and poise there was quite was something to behold then, Bruce. Both of these teams could take a leaf out of your book. Their composure is going to be pretty important in the next 17 minutes, eh?
I'll say so. but the team in front at this stage of the game should win it, I think. To be honest. And that's a valid and fair point. I mean, the team in front they usually
should win.
Yeah, but I mean at this point, sorry. Yeah. I don't think they'll relinquish points too easily. Put it that relinquish them,
that's a really good word. You've put a couple out today.
The Coastal scrum.
That's great work from Barrett again there and on the Mert. He's roughed them up a little there.
That scrum was a bit different, wasn't it? They actually pushed them Coastal after they wouldn't be running it from there if I was Spotswood, wouldn't it? He's looked after the ball, which is the main thing.
Coastal boys have set quite deep really for this kick, but he's kicked it in the touch, and that's you'll be pretty happy with that exit,
That's
Bruce.
a good kick.
Yeah,
Really good kick.
Get to your own 10 metre, you give that a pass mark.
Yeah, definitely.
However, you do now give Coastal the opportunity to go to their strength, which is the line out, and let them have ball in hand, don't
Do
you?
you reckon that you'll drive from here, would you? Probably do. Drive, you might drive 10.
I think it's probably a little bit too far out, but I would say they'll probably create something in the midfield and then look to pick and go or hit the blind side and get some momentum. And
Yeah.
at Coastal, they'll be thinking they just need to look after the football now.
Yeah.
Another injury break, eh? Because
Big boys out there.
opportunity, obviously grand final, Bruce. You've watched a lot of footy this year. What kinds of things stand out to you this year around club footy? What kind of things heart or warm the heart?
Well, I just like the way that I've always loved Rugby. I'd rather watch the most forms because you sort of know all the players, you get to know all the teams and what's going on. I really enjoyed watching club rugby, and I thought, like you said, every team's had a good show in this competition because if you're not on the job in the day, you're going to get your ass kicked. So, and that's what's happened. But they have beaten two best teams, so they're there.
And some good young talent coming
Yeah,
through
yeah,
too.
there is.
Some exciting new
I
players into
always
club
thought
footy.
the only thing that disappoints me is when you can't get, the Taranaki and the Hunter boys aren't allowed to play. I don't like that club rugby, but I mean, I'm old school, I suppose.
Yeah, no, that's a valid point.
Yeah. Jesus. Wasn't it a penalty? No, probably not. It was a good tackle.
Certainly got the crowd back up and running.
Yeah.
There's certainly no problem with the height. I guess the big thing was their arms. That's probably the big thing that people are probably looking at. But hey, great to see some good contact. And they'll just roll their sleeves up again here, Bruce, won't they? And just keep rolling, trundling in here. Something they do quite well is they don't score out wide, do they? So if they do score, they often pick up 7.
It was a good luck actually because he got hit real bad. He must have done really well to get that.
Yeah, did well. They're the Coastal
wrong side. No matter. It's the wrong side there.
Yeah.
Easy up here though, Jimmy. Hey.
Yeah, and we're only up here, mate, because we weren't good enough to be down there. So. Tell you what, that's Gopeth again. He's had a really strong game, hasn't he? He's carried beautifully, and again, Spotswood are in, slowing that ball down, and it's they've turned it over, Bruce.
Yeah. I think the reason why they got the ball, he went through the hole. They were play it, and he didn't.
That could be a real telling point, couldn't it? Because Coastal kind of bombarded away there. They've got about 11 minutes on the clock to go, but our running time would suggest that we've probably got a little bit more time than that. Perez is hobbling, Bruce, and I think he's been a pretty big talisman for Spotswood, and they're making that change now. And again,
he's done some great things in this game. He did drop the ball a couple of times, but when he's got it, he's been dangerous.
Yeah. And again, crucial personnel, and he's carried them a fair bit on his shoulders with some of his ball carries. So it'll be interesting to see how freshly.
There's the inside.
Assisted with that inside ball quite a bit, and with quite good results.
bit of hesitation with the Coastal running boys at this point in time, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they're finding some space in behind and up through the middle. Again, those A defenders are starting to chase.
That looks impressed me. He's a good player. That
Josh Lord, he's going to go a long way, that young man.
The old miss cut-out pass.
We're lucky to have two New Zealand under-20 players this year, and I'd say he'll be in line to give it a good shake next year. And again, for me, Bruce, those guys are just coming from the side.
Yeah, they have.
And again, he's got no intent of that ball. He's just wrapped his body there. And again, I think
There's another guy from the side. That's what's happening.
and that's Peter Gus putting his shoulder to the wheel of Grindstone there and made a great hit. Coastal starting to look a bit more expansive, and again, some really good running lines.
That was a good
Troy, great hit there.
Oh, wrong way.
Got numbers here. McKenna trying.
No, they're all backs it, really.
And that Josh Lord, that's a great carry.
That is a good carry.
And they've got a man down here, Spotswood, so we're defending with just 14 in the defensive line. I think Sione is struggling a little bit there, Spotswood, and he's in the middle of the field, so they might want to go
He's
there.
gone to the line again. He's a tough little bugger, isn't he?
I think what he did really well, and again, they persist with that inside ball and get that cleaner there. A little bit of a hit and switch, and looks as though it paid dividends there.
Asking him some questions here.
Yeah, he's gone on his own there. Coastal have done really well with their not having too much separation of the cleaners. The cleaners are getting to that breakdown and making good.
Yeah,
They seal the ball off quite well.
he's a big boy.
There the separation is, and Lemurts attack that and straight away.
Yeah.
And that's your issue when you start to go pick and go all the time. There, you've got to make sure that you've got that connect, that separation between that next cleaner and that. You're a bit of a sitting duck.
Because it's when they go through the tackle, it's actually probably a good thing to go through the tackle, but when you do, everybody's coming for that mark and it's further through.
You look picking his moments in regard to attacking that breakdown, and he did a great job there.
Well, it's a very intelligent player, isn't he? So he knows when to go and when not to. So.
Well, he is a 9.
Yeah, no, that's a point. Not straight. No. 8 minutes to go. This time's the game. Kick.
I think this is an important time though, and lots of teams start chasing the game here. 8 minutes still, you've still got a fair bit of time to accumulate points. You're only 5 points down. You know the old adage that if there's more time than points needed, then sometimes it's good to take 3 early doors and then accumulate. So there's still plenty of time for Coastal. They need to stay calm. They just need to get the ball and start to dominate some territory.
Yeah.
Spotswood, on the other hand, they're just going to make sure that they get this line out done right, and they'll be looking for a penalty to clear out because 8 points will be game over. So Coastal, and again, all the little things are starting to go Spotswood's way.
Yeah. Jesus,
McKenna just got turned into a sock puppet there by Asa with a great fin.
He's a big boy, isn't he?
He's a massive man.
Winning hard, though. There's that number 7.
Yeah, and they're right. Oh, they got isolated a little bit there, Spotswood, and he's going to try and that's intelligent play.
It is.
That's great play. And that's what you want from your team, especially when you're 5 points in front. Just keep pushing them into the corner. This is the challenge for Coastal now. They've traditionally been a team that's been kind of in front and wrestled you to the ground at the end of the game. Very difficult for them to chase. So
Good ball. Going to run the big boy. Yep, they are.
we have to give Spotswood some real kudos this afternoon. Their discipline has been particularly good. Brent Gooden's gone into 9 by the looks and just kicked that away and just over halfway.
So taking Logan off.
Yeah.
What is there? Oh, yeah.
Huge amount of experience, both for Taranaki and in club football. He's been a great servant to the game.
Very skillful. Yeah.
And he'll be a bit like Rick Kenner. He won't do everything by the playbook, so you'll have to watch him.
He's pretty good at a party too, old Goodies.
Yeah. Well, he's a 9. Spotty are doing all the feet from the big man. And you look to kick into this corner again. They set up for it then. They didn't. And that's again an unlucky bounce for just shot away. And like we say, the tide has turned in the last 15 minutes, and all the little bounces that Coastal were getting early on going Spotswood way now, and often happens in a game, doesn't it? Here comes Calvin Weir now. We thought he was on a little bit earlier, but he's just strolled out there in the 18 jersey for Coastal. So we're still 13-18. We have 33 minutes running time. Pretty frenetic and entertaining match. At times, the skill level has been great, Bruce.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's been pretty good because it leads to big hits. Yeah. No, I think it's been pretty good. Yeah, I think.
If you were writing a school report, what grade would you give Spotswood at this point in time with 7 minutes to go?
Well, if I was writing a school report, I'd say that they don't have to win really nice. The Coastal attacked them a lot. You know, they've had a lot of territory and that early on, but I think they've tackled pretty well, and I think they look more dangerous. But mind you, I thought Coastal scored the best try of the game so far. It was an outstanding try.
Yeah, I agree. I still think there's just one more moment. There's one more thing to play out here, Bruce, before the end of this game. And again. And what's the difference here? That's my question to you from the first scrum penalty.
That's right. Nothing. It did swing a bit, but like he would have penalised that earlier on.
Nervous for the players, but I'm guessing the guys in the yellow shirts have got a little bit of pressure on as well. What do you think's going on in the ref's head at the moment?
Well, I don't think he wants to give away too many penalties. There'd have to be one real good push or a drop or something.
There must be a fair bit of pressure going on in their minds too, eh?
Yeah, He's especially seen as, like he's...
Here we go. That's interesting, isn't it? Because the Spotswood scrum has been dominant the whole game. Now the Spotswood players just walked away with the ball. He's walked 15 to 20 metres, maybe 30 metres away with the ball, and just wasted a bit more time. What's your feeling on that, Bruce?
Well, it's a good move if you can get away with it. Sort of thing you used to do, Jimmy, when you were playing.
Yeah.
Pictures will come back.
Well, here we go.
I've lost my picture.
Crucial couple of minutes here now for Coastal, isn't it?
Got
to get this part right first.
Yeah, and they have.
They've gone just to a basic 2 there, but Spotswood have done well with a sack.
Hitting that midfield.
Just trying to go with here. I think Spotswood are on the switch here. They've been working around the corner, Coastal, pretty much all game, and that's high.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
But if you have a look at where Spotswood are going at the moment, Barrett tried a bit of razzle-dazzle knowing that he had the penalty. They'll look to kick into this corner here, and now it's game on. And again, we talked about this a lot. Discipline of Spotswood was going to be one of the crucial parts of this game, and they've held it pretty well, but this could be a crucial moment now in the game.
Not the best kick.
Someone's run out there and given him a ball with sand there, and he's kicked that looked a heavy kick.
Some Spotswood supporter.
Yeah. The old Sinbad's given him a real hard blow, and that's only gone about 5 or 10 metres out.
I'd say. Yep.
And that boy Josh Lord's had a great game.
Yeah, yes.
And the strength of Calvin Weir is his carry, but he's been held up here and they're in a bit of trouble. Doesn't matter, the maul had already started, so it's so as soon as the maul's formed, it doesn't matter if you get your knees to the ground or not, it's only a post tackle. So Spotswood boys knew the rules there pretty well and they came far and wide. I'll give you the tip, there was a couple of shoulders come in there late with no arms. It'll be interesting. Coastal got to have the same mentality, don't they? The scrum, they dominated the last scrum. They've got to.
That was a surprise coming out of the mist, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because we're on the running time with 3.5 minutes to go, and it's 13 to Coastal and 18 to Spotswood. Still anyone's game, really. But as you said 17 minutes ago, Bruce, the team with the points should win this.
I thought that was one of my more insightful moments. No, I meant at that time. Yeah, I see you picked the...
Oh, he's knocked that on, Bruce.
He has too.
I'll tell you what. Pressure on there.
Big mistake for that number later.
Talk about moments in finals, don't we? And there's been two. A head-high tackle, and now the 8 getting a little ahead of himself and not just doing his role. And all of a sudden, Coastal start to dominate the ball.
But the Coastal scrum was improved, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, so
Do you think a couple of the guys going up and you thought with the Taranaki Court coming on, they'd be...
Yeah, well, I guess young boy Andrew Trollope has been in and around the system for a little while, and look, I'm not professing to know what goes on in the dark arts of scrumming, but at this point in time, Coastal definitely look as though they've got parity, if not a bit of strength at scrum time now.
Yeah. Big hit.
They just need to stay patient. Spotswood have not sending numbers into the ruck at the moment and holding their feet. So they're really picking and choosing what they do here, and Coastal have decided to hit and switch. And I think Spotswood have been on hit and switch a little bit in the last 10 minutes. But they need to go more to the midfield and then come back like this. This is way more on.
I thought that big guy went off the field before, but he's just going to...
He's either offside there, but he's got away with it. So I guess that's what all good minds will try and do, push the envelope, and he's managed to get one away there, I think.
I think he was offside when he showed it.
Yeah, I think he's miles offside. So, yeah, you've got to be behind the last man's feet, and there's just no way he was. But, hey...
Unless the referee played him was out and he came from behind, that's the only thing that could have happened. He thought he was behind and the ball came out.
Time is ticking, and she's now one of those Cinderella stories for Coastal, really. They're going to have to pull this. Spotswood think that it's all over, and it is. Yeah. And Spotswood heart's got to go out to Coastal. They played very well to their coaching team, their management team. Heartbreak for the third year in a row when they have consistently been the front runners of a competition. But to Spotswood, you've got to give them credit. They were probably the form team of the competition, in particular the second half. So it's always a very, very special thing to win a a club final, and I'm sure they'll celebrate it and celebrate it well. So pretty good final on the whole, though, Bruce.
Yeah,
Do you
it was a
think?
good final. Coastal played really well, and so did Spotswood. I thought that was a really good final. Coastal actually got the best try, the nicest looking try. They did really well, manipulated the Spotswood defence really well, but Spotswood still got that nice try down the thing where they chipped over. That was a huge moment in the game, I thought.
Yeah, I guess that's why sport's the greatest theatre of all time. Eh? You look at the two contrasting groups. You know, the absolute jubilation of Spotswood and the kind of dropped heads and sorrow for Coastal, who put up a hell of a good fight.
I always feel sorry for Coastal, but I've always thought Spotswood would win this. They haven't won it before, so it's probably all kudos to them. And Coastal, like I said, 3 years in a row, it is disappointing for them.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, Bruce.
Yeah.
Cheers to all the techs and all the boys on the camera, all the hard work that all our video analysis guys and cameramen do in a club season. We're extremely lucky in Taranaki Rugby to have the people that do that. So to all the volunteers and supporters that do the video stuff and do everything for club rugby, it can't exist, and you can't have finals like this with guys playing on the field without all the people that give their time up and committees and everything else they do, to coaches, to managers, to everyone in the game. So to everyone, well done.
You know, I was just going to say that, Jimmy. Well done, mate.